Hi, I'm Chrissy and this is Healing Speaks. Okay, in today's video, I'll be telling you all about a time I was on a 72-hour hold. Yes, that's up to 3 days. But before I get into today's video, I just want to quickly say that if you see any of my videos titled Dark Side Tales, it is equivalent to a story time video. I just don't want to put story time in my video title, so if you see Dark Side Tales, I am telling you an unfiltered, like a raw story. So that's just to let you guys know. So let's dive into today's video. So I like to say that there's different levels to therapy, right? When you see your psychologist or a therapist, I consider that like level 1. And then if your therapist or your psychologist thinks you need more intensive care, they will refer you. They will refer you to a group or a class or a program. And I was referred to PHP, which stands for like partial hospital program. The next level to that is IHP, like an inpatient hospital program. So I was referred to PHP first. So it's intensive care because you're there for like 5 to 6 hours long. It's Monday through Friday and it can last up to 2 weeks. Okay, that's why it's intensive care. So this was in 2013. Okay, you guys, this was 2013. And I just remember there was a particular day that I just was not feeling myself. I think this is also when my psychosis was being born, I guess you could say, when my psychosis was taking effect. At that time, I was diagnosed with MDD, GAD, an eating disorder, and body dysmorphia, however you say that one. I don't have that now as of today, but yeah. So this was 2013. So at that moment, I was diagnosed with that. So, but this is definitely around the time when my psychosis was being a thing. But anyway, so there was a particular day that I was annoyed with everything. I was annoyed with everything. I just felt like I was on the edge. I was not myself. So all of this went down during a group discussion, discussion where everybody sits in a circle, whatever. And the teacher's in the middle and we discuss. I just remember it was my turn to share. I don't know what I was sharing. I can't remember. I can't get too detailed because YouTube is sensitive, you guys. So I apologize if it's vague. I can't get into details. I can just tell you that I was a red flag. They saw me as a red flag. I raised some antennas. I was considered high risk. That's all I know. I was considered high risk. They had to remove me. I think they didn't like what I was sharing, how I was acting and what I was doing. If you have no idea what I mean by what I was doing, I will probably put in the description what SH means. So I think I was, scaring others and stuff like that. So they removed me. They removed me because I thought they were removing me from the group because they just wanted me to calm down and that they were going to return me back to group. But once I realized, I said, no, they're taking me somewhere else. Now, in this facility, there's PHP on the lower level. IHP was on the upper level. So I was heading upward. I was going to the other side. And I thought I was going to be returned. And I'm like, once I realized where I was like, oh man, this must be serious. I remember I don't know if they put everyone to sleep when you first get checked in. I just remember being sleepy. Once I realized where I was, when I realized where I was is when I was putting on the gown. That's when I was putting 2 and 2 together. I said, oh, I know what this is about. This is serious. I've done it now. So I remember I had to put the gown on. I had to remove my hair ties. So I couldn't have hair ties in my hair. I had to put the gown on. I had to take my shoes off. They took all my belongings, put it in the bag. They had to put it away. And I just remember being sleepy because they did give me something to take. I remember being tired. And then, and I was also resisting. Once I realized where I was being stubborn. So that's why I thought they put me to sleep because I wasn't cooperating. So I'm like, they put my butt to sleep. So after I woke up, because I went to sleep, I don't know how long I was asleep. I woke up and, I was in a room. There was 2 beds. I was in the bed that's closer to the door. Then there was another bed on the right side of me. No one was in that bed yet. So yeah, I remember coming out of the room and they saw that I was woke. I think I was taken to see my psychologist, so they can explain what was going on. I can't remember it so well. This was way back in 2013. So I can't remember step by step, but I'm sure they went to take me to my psychologist I was assigned to. And I'm sure I was explained why I was there. And they went over like what medications are you taking? Because they had to make sure that my medications were correct. And next thing you know, I'm just like, okay, I'm here. I am here. I'm going to be here for a few days. I am here. I've done it now. So what is it like being in there now? Okay, so what is it like being inside an inpatient program? hospital program. It is definitely scary and it's overwhelming. I had a lot of mixed emotions because I was still kind of confused, like, no, I don't need to be in here. Especially when I was comparing myself to other people. I was comparing myself to other patients because there were people in there that didn't even seem like they had their minds there all the way. If that makes sense. We had people like talking to themselves loud, yelling, moving like this, like, I had people in there doing that. So I'm like, no, no. Y'all gotta have to discharge me. It took a while. I think it took a whole entire day for me to just be like, you know what? Just do what you gotta do until you get out. So what's it like being in there? So we did eat. I was on a special diet because I had an eating disorder. I was on a special diet. So they were giving me this shake. It was like a shake, I guess, like a gaining weight kind of a shake, I guess. So I was given that with my food. And then there's like different programs you can do in there. They want to make sure that you're taking advantage of these programs. I remember them telling me the more programs and activities you do, the better. The better you can, but by law, I think by law, they can only hold you up to 72 hours, I think, by law. But they're like, yeah, just attend as much activities and programs as you can. You got to show us that you're well, So I remember they had a lot of things to do in there. They have like activity room. You can draw, color, paint, foosball, play pool. And then they had like group discussions where we had like group discussions. We just sit down and we had group. I remember I was always sitting by myself though. I was annoyed with people. I was sitting I did not trust anyone in there. It is, like I said, it can be scary being in there with seeing those different patients. It can be scary in there. So I just remember I stayed to myself. I didn't talk to no one. I stayed to myself. So yeah, there's group discussions you got to attend. There's like a fitness, because they had like an agenda, so you can attend like fitness, yoga, exercise, like I said, an activity room. Then there's just times we just sit down and do nothing. If there's nothing going on, like there's no group going on, you just got to find yourself something to do by just sitting down or looking out the window. And I remember sitting down and I looked down, looking out the window, and I can see the partial hospital program. Now the windows are tinted. They can't see you, but you can see them. And I remember looking down and I was able to look at the partial hospital program from the window. It's like a tease too. When you're looking down there, it's like a tease. And I'm like, man, I could see my group, my partial hospital group down there. And that is it. I was always sitting by myself. You can walk the halls, you can walk the hallways and just try your best to kill some time. You can get some fresh air. You're constantly being checked on. There's a nurse with a clipboard that will say your name. I think every 10 to 15 minutes, there was a nurse that said my name. They had to make sure they knew where all the patients were and that they were there. Okay. So you're being checked on constantly. You got to make sure that you take your medications, and you got to make sure that you attend the programs. And you get the chance to see your psychologist, I believe, every day. You get to sit down and talk to your psychologist. Now, they didn't tell me that I had a psychosis. I remember telling them about hearing things and seeing things that were not there, or seeing things and stuff. I'll talk more about psychosis. I know I kept mentioning in my videos that I'll talk more what psychosis is like for me. And that is where my diagnosis came from. I remember seeing it on my discharge papers. I seen it on I was not told I got psychosis. I don't think so. I just remember seeing it as one of my lists of diagnosed, MDD with psychosis. I remember seeing that on the notes. So I completed the program. Okay. To make a long story short, I completed the program. That is what it's like, being in there. You can shower in there, but no razors and stuff like that. Like I said, you're being checked on. You got to shower with your door open. So yeah, that is pretty much what it's like being in there. It is very overwhelming, mixed emotions. It can be scary in there, looking at the different type of people that are in there. Because remember, inpatient program, that's a high level of care. That is intensive care times 10. Okay, so I was happy to be discharged. I was told that I did great. I attended some classes. I was told I did great, and I was told that I can go back to PHP, and I was excited about that. I went back to attending my partial hospital program. I remember when I came back, a lot of the people were looking at me like, oh man, I remember her, she's back. Some of the people had already graduated, but the people that were still completing the program remembered me. They did, they remembered me. And, but I tried not to let that bother me, because they did give me that face, like they gave me that, oh crap, she's back vibe. But I was just happy that I was able to go back to PHP. Okay. And that was it. I was able to, finished my partial hospital program, and that was it. That is my experience on being on a 72-hour hold. And I haven't been on another one since. There's another dark side tale to when I almost went to on another 72-hour hold. I'll save that for another video. And let me know if you ever been on a 72-hour hold, or if you ever had to go on a longer hold. Like I said, I think by law you can only do up to 72 hours. I think I could be wrong, but yeah, if you experienced an impartial hospital program, inpatient hospital program, IHP, let me know. I would love to hear your stories. You don't have to get too detailed in the comment section. I do plan to make an email for this channel. I have not made an email yet for this channel, so that way you can reach out to me and stuff like that, and I can reach out back to you. But let me know in the comment section if you ever attended on a 72-hour hold at a inpatient hospital program. I would love to hear from you. But that was my experience. It was interesting. I just knew, just be on your best behavior. Just be on your best behavior, and just do what you got to do in there. And like I said, it can be scary because you have different people in there with different mental illnesses. And so, like I said, I stayed to myself. I didn't talk to anyone. I did not talk to anyone because I felt like I was on the edge too. I didn't want to talk to anybody because I felt like I was on the edge. I didn't want to do something that I would regret later, or that even sounds crazy to say, but I was on the edge. I did not want anyone near me. I didn't want to talk to anyone, okay? And that is pretty much all that I have. Like I said, sorry it was kind of vague, because I know you're wondering, like, what did you say? What was your behavior that landed you in there? But all I can say is I was doing some SH, and I will list in my video description SH. And yeah, so that is all for this video, and I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Please make sure that you at least like this video. I changed just very quickly, I did change my channel description because I felt like my channel was being misleading at the moment. My old description said that my channel was about bringing people up so we can, vent and talk and have group discussions where you can, we can all just talk and stuff like that. But I'm like, well, a lot of my videos so far is just me opening up. Okay, I'm just been opening up, and so I thought my channel was like kind of misleading, so I changed the description. But that is the vision of my channel. I want to go live more than anything. I'm doing long form video because I'm new. What is Healing Speaks, and who is Chrissy? So I'm making videos like this. But once I get enough subscribers, I do plan to go live more and bring us up and support one another so we can heal together. That is the vision of this channel. But for now, I'm just making long form videos so you guys get to know more about who I am and how I'm struggling with these mental illnesses. And that's what I'm doing so far. So I did change my channel description because I don't want it to come off misleading when I do have new people coming to my channel. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That is my vision of the channel for the near future. And yeah, and I can't wait to see that take off like that. All right, so if you made it this far, please at least like this video. Thank you guys so much. And for all the new subscribers that came to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing. And I want to get more personal with you guys, more authentic with you all, so you can relate to me. So I've been making more relatable videos. If you notice, I've been more personal with my videos, showing more dark side of how I struggle with these mental illnesses, and it's okay. I am now telling people that it's okay to admit that something is wrong with you. It's the only way I can heal. It's the only way I can heal, is admitting to everyone that there is something wrong with me, and it's okay. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.